Well, good afternoon, Raider Nation. I want to welcome you to the first round of the GHSA Boys Soccer Playoff. Your Bacon County Red Raiders are representing Region 2 as the number 3 seed, and they're being hosted by the number 2 seed from Region 4, which is Oglethorpe County, up here in Lexington, Georgia. When I looked it up, I'd never heard of Lexington or Crawford. They're pretty close together. This area is about 20 miles east of Athens. Most everybody's familiar with God's country. So that's where we're at. This is a beautiful facility. It's an older facility. I was chatting with our athletic director, Chuck Woodall, about it, but it just kind of sits on a hill as everything's kind of as it progresses down the hill from the school. The athletic facility is a very beautiful place. But we are here again, as we were yesterday up in Putnam County for the ladies. Unfortunately, the ladies did not advance, but the boys are going to have a good opportunity tonight to compete and advance to the second round. I want to quickly go over our roster. Not a starting lineup, but just the roster. Give these guys the recognition they deserve as we head into the state playoffs. Number 1, Josh Laredo. Number 2, Angel Navarra. Number 4, Harrison Lee. Number 5, Jose Torres. Number 6, JoJo Brown. Number 7, Blake Rich. Number 8, Landon Laredo. Number 9, David Hernandez Navarro. Number 10, Ralph Navarro Rodriguez. Number 11, Johnny Bocanegra. Number 12, Abraham Meza, who is the goalie. Goalkeeper. Number 13, Jarrett Dominguez. Number 14, Alan Herrera. Number 15, Giovanni Candata. Number 16, Saul Ramirez. Number 17, Enrique Laredo. Number 19, Nakosi Batten. Number 20, Hortada Coroz. 21, Malachi Johns. 23, Danny Ramirez. 24, Anthony Laredo. 25, Jose Gonzalez. And 27, Joel Martinez. That's your full lineup for the Raiders. Again, we want to congratulate them on another pretty successful season. They competed well in our region. It was tit for tat all season long as to who was going to be first, second, third, or fourth in our region. I think all 4 teams in our regions should bode well in this first round of the tournament. We're going to pause now for the playing of the national anthem here locally. Be back in just a moment. All right, after the national anthem, we're getting ready for the kickoff, so to speak. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the first round of the GHSA State Boys Soccer Playoffs, as your Raiders have traveled to the middle Georgia, to Lexington, the city of Lexington, Oglethorpe County High School, who represents Region 4 AA. I want to quickly thank our 2021-22 athletic school year title sponsors: Coley's Electric and Plumbing Supply, Family Vision Care, Burt CPA, and Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales. Without their help and their donation to our program, our student broadcasting program, as well as it funnels into my Technology Student Association program, allowing our students to travel and compete around the state. Without those sponsorships and your subscriptions, the portion that we get from that, we would not be able to to do the things we like to do, and that's bring to you Bacon County athletics. Again, I will not be commentating per se each play, the plays that are happening. It's going to be more or less a silent broadcast. If something cool happens either on defense or we score, I'll do my best to point that individual out specifically for the Red Raiders, and I'll keep you up to date on the time as to the halves. We will play two 40-minute halves, and see who's on top after that. If not, there's an overtime procedure we'll discuss later. But I want to turn it over right here to the action. Again, Raider Nation, if you're just joining us on this live broadcast, this is the first round for the boys varsity soccer for the GHSA state playoffs. We are about 6 minutes into this game. There are about 34 minutes left in this first period, first half. Two pretty athletic-looking teams, kind of sizing each other up still a little bit here. A lot of quick action. I want to thank you for joining us on the NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports, but brought to you by BCTV Red Raider Broadcasting. My name is Brent Johnson. I'm joined by Martine. He's on the camera for me tonight. He is a member of the soccer team. He's unable to play this evening. On the camera. Again, I will not be commentating 100% of the time. I'll come in and give some updates and this, that, and the other. And when special things happen like scoring and good defensive plays. But again, thank you for joining us. And we have our first goal. And that was Allen. I'm pretty sure Allen Herrera scored that, number 14 for the Raiders, just a sophomore. Let me double check that. Yes, a 10th grader. He scored quite a few this year. It's 1-0. Your Raiders lead early. And we are at the 30-minute mark. I'm going to check my score bug. I'm going to leave that up there. It's definitely going to give you an estimation of what the time is. Gives you something to look at. And, yeah, it's pretty close. scoring in soccer is exciting, but it's really fun to watch these gentlemen play some good defense. And we're seeing, we just saw a moment ago, Josh Laredo. He's also just a 10th grader, making some fantastic moves. The footwork for these young men is phenomenal. .26:40 is on the actual clock. Goal number 2 for your Bacon County Red Raiders as they take a 2-0 lead. .20 and 48 seconds remaining here in the first. Again, I want to thank our 2021-22 athletic school year title sponsors. Coley's Electric and Plumbing Supply, that's Ms. Lisa Coley and her fine staff. Family Vision Care, Doctors Hutto, McQuaig, and Day. Andy Cawthorn at Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales. And Mr. Larry Taylor at the Burt CPA, the local office in Alma. About to be under 12 minutes. We are under 12 minutes in the first period. Again, I want to thank you for joining us here on the NFHS Network Live. As BCTV Red Raider Broadcasting are bringing you the first round of the boys state soccer tournament. Our Red Raiders were the 3 seed out of Region 2 AA, and we are being hosted by the 2 seed from Region 4, way up near Athens, Georgia, Lexington. It is Oglethorpe County. Look at that. Great effort there by the Red Raiders. A nice shot there on the free kick. Just a little too close to the goalie there. Seeing a lot of effort by this Red Raider team, offensively and defensively. Just discussing with Coach Woodall here. They've had, I think, 2 shots on goal, whereas we've had about 4 or 5, but 2 of those have went in. Quality shots by the Raiders, a couple corner kicks. We are really maintaining or controlling the ball, I would say. Probably have for 75, 80% of the game, which is a good thing. But you still got to stay on your toes. That ball can slip by you quickly, and next thing you know, it's 2-2, and it's a new ball game. But if our Red Raiders keep this up, good things are gonna happen. I tell you what, we just witnessed one of the greatest compliments that any team, I don't care what sport or what level you're playing at, when the opposing coach hollers out across the field to his team and says, hey, y'all need to be playing like they are. Man, it don't get much better than that. That makes you proud to be a Raider right there. Y'all need to be playing like they are. And when you say that on your home field, yeah, had a little collision there. Hopefully everybody's all right. Two boys went down pretty hard. They're walking over and checking on them. And that can be a legal play because as long as you make contact with the ball, it looked really bad. But if the defensive guy, if he slides in like he did and makes contact with the ball specifically prior to touching the defender or the offensive guy, I'm not sure. During this injury, kind of a timeout here. It's about the only time the clock stops is when there's an injury or there's a card or a penalty being placed on a kid, or there's a goal. It'll stop for a few seconds, but otherwise it runs. It looks like we've got 5 minutes and 50 seconds. I think it will show that when I start it back. And yep, it's gonna update that on the score bug. You folks at home are probably anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes behind. I've got it set as a 2-minute delay, but it could be delayed more simply because of the broadcast speed that I have up here. The upload speed was not super duper great. It's about 5 meg, whereas a 10 to 12 is ideal, where you see very little lag or anything. If you're watching at home, which I hope there's a good many, I had 54 live views last night for the girls as we were up in Putnam County. If you got my number, shoot me a text or a Facebook message. Let me know. I'll give you a shout-out. I want to give a shout-out to Miss Ross. Miss Tiffany Ross, she teaches business technology at Bacon County High School, a huge supporter of Bacon County athletics and our kids in general. Appreciate her watching from home. And a shout-out to my wife, Jessica Johnson, as she is home rooting for these Red Raiders as well. Got about a minute to go here in the first period. Raiders lead 2-0. Don't want to give them anything easy here. Keep the pressure. Again, the ball has remained on our half of the field for probably 80, maybe even 90% of the game. But as I mentioned earlier, all it takes is one mistake, and the ball's behind you and in the net. Yeah, going to be a whistle there as our guy goes down hard. 27 seconds. This is probably going to wind it up. This free kick is our goalie, Abraham Mesa. 15 seconds. There'll be a 10-minute intermission, half. They'll play another 40 minutes. And that's going to end the half. Your Raiders are going to lead Oglethorpe County. Again, the number 2 seed out of Region 4. 2-0 as we head at halftime. Again, thank you for joining us on the NFHS Network. Got a couple messages here. Christy Rich sent me a sticker with her waving at me. So Christy Rich, this is Coach Andy Rich's wife at home, tuning in, watching the Red Raiders play here again in the first round of the GHSA state playoffs. Christy is my hairstylist as well, a little plug there. And she is with Miss Peggy Anderson. Hello, Miss Peggy. I've been thinking about you. I know my wife's been checking in on you. I promise I've been thinking about you. And I'm not going to embarrass your daughter on live broadcast about what I asked her the other day, and she couldn't tell me. I'll let her explain. So there you go, Christy. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I might be in trouble the next time you trim my hair. But nonetheless, we're headed to halftime. We're going to take a quick break here, honor our sponsors, and be back in just a few moments. All right, we're back, Raider Nation. Again, live on the NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports, brought to you by BCTV Red Raider Broadcasting. My name is Brent Johnson. I'm the instructor at Bacon County High School in the Engineering and Technology Department, where I'm the advisor to the Student Broadcasting Program, as well as the Technology Student Association. I'm joined by Martine on the camera for me tonight, and I appreciate him taking care of business for me. Coach Woodall is here in the booth with us as well. I want to thank him personally, as well as Ms. Pam Williams, our principal, Charlie Powell, assistant principal, Clint Johnson, our CTAE director, for giving us this opportunity to do the things that we've been doing for about almost 12 years now. That's broadcasting on the NFHS and bringing you live Bacon County athletics when you can't be here. As always, we want you to attend as many of these events as possible, specifically home games, to support our Raiders at all levels, at all sports. But when you can't come, this does provide a great platform for you to be able to do that. I've got to clear up something real quick before I go on. I had a couple folks text me. One is Christy Rich. I mentioned her as Coach Rich's wife. Sent me a text, and about the same time, my sister sent me a text and said she was watching it and she was with Miss Peggy, which Miss Peggy happens to be Christy's mother, and I thought it was coming from Christy, so I kind of threw Christy under the bus, telling her, I said, well, hey, Miss Peggy, we're thinking about you. She had some surgery. She's a lady that works in our middle school, secretary. She runs the school. No, but she's a fine person that had some surgery, and she's at home recuperating, and she also goes to church with us. So we've been checking up on her. I know my wife has, as I mentioned, and my sister's there, McClintock, with her. And I thought Christy was with her, and I ran my mouth a little bit there, but I just want to clarify that. But I'm just glad everyone that's able to can come and or at least watch us here on the network. Again, this is the first round. If you're just joining us here, the first round of the GHSA Boys State Soccer Tournament. Your Raiders are the number 3 seed from Region 2AA, and we're being hosted by the number 2 seed from Region 4AA. Your Raiders are in white tops, and the Oglethorpe County is in the red back of their jersey. It's kind of confusing because I'm thinking, how can they play with two different jerseys? Because the front is a stripe, a red and white vertical stripe, and their back is a solid red. But we are in the white tops, solid white tops, black bottoms. Going to be a penalty there. Been a fairly rough game, and me and Coach Woodall was discussing it earlier. The refs was kind of letting them play in that first half, and I don't think it was. He didn't intentionally try to knock the boy down, but sometimes when the refs let teams play very physical, it can cross the line at certain times, and that was obviously a cross the line by our young man. Again, not intentionally trying to hurt the dude or anything like that. It was just a little too rough of a play there, and it's happened on both sides of the ball. Most importantly, your Raiders are leading 2-0. Again, I'm not commentating play-by-play in this match. I will come on occasionally when something good happens on offense or defense, and to comment and to give praise to our sponsors. And just in case I didn't mention it a moment ago, I know I called out the jerseys. Raiders are in the top, white top. We are moving left to right to attempt to score, and we are defending on the left side and trying to score on the right side. good bit of action here as I didn't announce it, I don't think, but Oglethorpe has scored their first goal. And it's 2-1 here, still early in the 8 minutes into the second period. I want to give another shout out. I gave one to Miss Tiffany Ross. I want to give one special shout out to Mason and Madison Ross. That's her kids. She said they come inside from playing around just to cheer these boys on. I see those kids just about every morning and every afternoon when they go to the bus and then when they get off the bus. Good kids. Just want to congratulate them or thank them for cheering on these Red Raiders, as Miss Ross does a lot in the classroom, as well as she's a scorekeeper or the bookkeeper for basketball this past season, and then she does some work in the booth for soccer at home games, running the scoreboard and stuff of that. So we want to thank her for spending her time, and her kids spend a lot of time with her at those events. And the goal for the Red Raiders by David Navarro. Just a sophomore. Again, I keep calling out these sophomore names. Wait, David might be a junior. Let me look here. David. He is a junior. He's an 11th grader. A lot of talent. He plays in the middle. A lot of good footwork, but he had an opportunity to shoot that and score. I hope you saw that on the camera. We actually, right outside the window, I wanted to mention it, there's a pole that may, I don't think it was in the way of the goal shot, but it is in the way of like a corner kick. But if the camera flashes over there and you see something covering the field, that's what it is. But the Raiders' lead extends to 2 again, as it's 3-1 with 21 minutes remaining. And I probably need to start the clock again. 21 minutes. All right, Raider Nation, we are down under 15 minutes, 13:50 and counting here. Raiders lead 3-1, and that's the way we want to keep it. If we can somehow maybe extend it even right here. Been a lot of extracurricular this second half, a lot of emotions on both sides of the team. I said earlier the refs, we acknowledged earlier that they kind of, sometimes you say, well, they're letting them play. You see that a lot in basketball. But if you're not careful, you allow the boys to kind of cross that line, and then that's when emotions really can get carried away, especially in a tightly contested game like this. And then the fans get into it and it egging things on. And so one thing leads to another, and then the emotions get the best of a player. And that did happen to one of our guys. But we're in good shape. Again, 3-1. We want to try to stay focused so if we can finish this game out right. Again, now we're under 13 minutes, 3-1. Your Raiders lead against Oglethorpe County. Raiders will advance. If they can win tonight, they'll advance to the second round, in which they would win a prize to go and play the Lovett School, which is up in near Buckhead, Atlanta, a private school playing in AA division. We ran into, or I would say they ran into us last year. We were the number 1 seed. They were the number 2 seed out of Region 6, I believe it is. But the thing is they were the number 1 team in the state, ranked. It was either them or GHSA 1, Greater Atlanta, which they're both in the same region. They're just a buzzsaw. Sorry, not Greater Atlanta. It's Pace Academy. Pace Academy. I've made that mistake a couple times, that they're in that same Region 6. And whoever, a lot of times, like last year, they played each other for the state championship, and Pace beat Lovett last year. They come to our place and beat us 10-0 shortly after halftime. But anyway, if the victor tonight will face Lovett and have to travel to there next week at a day and time to be announced. But first things first, we got to take care of business here in Lexington, Georgia, as the sun is attempting to set behind some pine trees. I've already mentioned this is an older, an older type campus. Some of the facilities is older, but it's a beautiful, beautiful setting, beautiful place here in the foothills of Middle Georgia, about 20 miles east of Athens. Got a shout out, again, if I've mentioned right before half, if you'll shoot me, I need to check my Facebook Messenger, but if you'll shoot me a text, if you got my personal number or Facebook message me, I'll give you a shout out back at home. If you couldn't make it to the game today, I'll give a shout out to Mr. John Hughes. He's him and his wife, Miss Lisa Hughes, are two of my original and faithful subscribers and watchers of the NFHS network. Miss Lisa always typically tells me when we do talk about it, it's one of the best investments she makes each year. She comes to a tremendous amount of events, supporting our young men and women in person. But when she can't make it, she's checking her phone, she's watching it on her computer or her television. So I do appreciate the Hugheses, that's John and Lisa Hughes, for tuning in, supporting Red Raider athletics. Under 10 minutes now. Again, the Raiders remain solid. They should come away with a victory. Again, I'm not speaking it into existence, but we'd have to really just give it to them here toward the end. We just need to play some good defense. Don't have to be so aggressive on offense. And there was an opportunity we gave them, as you'll see there on your screen, allowing that ball to be centered. And a young man, if it was just a spin on the ball, I think that kept him from making a little bit better goal shot. At this point, you can slow play just a little bit. The clock continually runs. We mentioned that earlier, unless the whistle is blown by a hurt player or someone's being carded or there's a score. More often than not, it does not stop. But there's times where you can kind of take your time throwing the ball in, like you see here with JoJo. The goalie can kind of take his time as he kicks the ball back in play. Those types of things that can eat up a few extra seconds. Great play there by the goalie. A big, strong shot by that young man who scored the one and only goal for Oglethorpe. He scored relatively early in this second quarter, kind of fired them up, put a little kick in their step. Ball gets past them here. Raiders are going to have an opportunity to center. Oh, and he got underneath it. Got underneath it there. Needed to compress it a little more to the ground. But again, the Raiders don't need to score anymore. We just need to keep them off the board. Clock continues to run. 7:23. Another opportunity here for the Raiders as he centers. Oh, and there's a goal. The goalie slips down. And that, my friends, at home, I think, should be the nail in the coffin there. The score is 4-1 now. Your Raiders lead here in the first round of the state playoffs. 4-1. Clock stops. 7:16 remaining. Another good stop by goalie Mesa, senior. Under 5 minutes, 4.5 to be exact. And barring a miracle, your Raiders are going to advance to the second round for the second year in a row as we advanced to the quarterfinals last year, where we met Lovett, that buzzsaw I was referring to, and it looks like we're going to meet Lovett in the Sweet 16 this year, as we will have to travel up there. Super nice facility, nice folks. They were very cordial and accommodating to us when we went to broadcast softball, Lady Raider softball, back in the fall. Again, it's a private school in that downtown area, right next to the river. Beautiful campus, sports facilities. Three minutes to go now. Great stop by the goalie. Woo! Almost to go. That young man has played a whale of a game for Oglethorpe. Just not enough today to defeat our Raiders. But I want to thank I rode the bus up with the boys today. Coach Giddens, Sean Giddens, he is also the head coach for our fishing team. This is our second year. And last year was the inaugural year for the state of Georgia to have a fishing competition for the GHSA. But he is the head coach, and he had a tournament today with his fishermen, men and women, up at Lake Lanier. So he met us here. I rode the bus with the boys with Coach Rich. And I want to congratulate these guys for doing a heck of a job coming in. Some big shoes to fill as far as what was accomplished last year. With the soccer team finishing first in our region, being ranked in the top 10 in the state, and going all the way to the quarterfinals, which is the Elite Eight last year under Coach Goss and Coach Rich. Coach Goss has moved on, and Coach Giddens filled his spot as the head coach for this varsity team, and these guys have just kept on kicking. We'll be in a brand new region next year, and we'll talk about that more later. But again, I want to congratulate these coaches and these young men, these student athletes, for first of all, participating and representing Bacon County High School and our community. Under 2 minutes now. Raiders lead 4-1. Just killing some time, minute 16. Under a minute to go, as your Raiders are going to advance to the second round of the GHSA state playoffs for the second year in a row. Girls made history last night by participating in the first round. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way. But they have big things. They're a young team, big things ahead of that program. Looking forward to that next year. And our Red Raider boys soccer team, again, they're going to extend their season one more week. Anytime you can stick a playoff win under your belt, state playoff win, it's pretty good, pretty cool. Under 20 seconds, 18, 17. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's the buzzer. Congratulations to your Bacon County Red Raiders for this great win up as we traveled almost a little over 4 hours on the cheese wagon, the bus. I want to thank Martine for volunteering to help me out with the camera duties, and I did a fantastic job. A player on the team wasn't able to go tonight and volunteered to help me film. Want to again congratulate the coaches, Coach Giddens, Coach Rich. Thank Coach Woodall for being here, support. Thank you at home. Thank our sponsors, Coley Electric and Plumbing Supply, Family Vision Care, Burt CPA, Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales, and Coley Electric and Plumbing Supply. I want to thank all four of those for being our title sponsors for the 2021-2022 school year. Without their help, this wouldn't be possible. So, again, I want to thank you for joining us. I'm going to cut this short, pack it up so we can get on that bus and head south. Been a long day and night yesterday and today. But, again, thank you for the opportunity. But, again, thank you for joining us on the NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports, brought to you most importantly by BCTV Red Raider Broadcasting. And, again, thank you for joining us and supporting us. And we're going to call it a night here in the first round of the state playoffs as your Raiders will advance. Don't know the day and time just yet, but that will just keep you out on social media from the high school site and others and mine. And we'll let everybody know. Playing tennis next week. I didn't mention that yesterday. Boys and girls are hosting. I don't know who's coming, but I know this Wednesday. Both boys and girls are going to be hosting. Two different schools, but they're going to be starting about 2:30 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. I do know that. So congratulations to Coach Bordeaux and his staff on that. So we're signing off here, and want to give a big go, Big Red.